What time is it in your life? You see, whenever we look at a clock, we always have to be reminded, what time is it in our life? So, here I am again. This is my secret garden. This is the garden where nobody ever comes. Only squirrels and birds. And down there is my seat and my towel where I lay, sunbathe and meditate and do yoga on the lush, green, soft, cool grass. And all around me is the speaking of the birds. And so I've read whatever is engraved on every single one of these tombstones, and I look how long or short their lives were, and I reminisce and I ponder upon a tombstone with my name written upon it, and foliage creeping over it, and the body which lies beneath, long since forgotten. What time is it, Aaron? Do you know what time it is? Is it time to live, or is it time to die? As long as we keep an eye on what time it is, we'll have a constant reminder of what living is. And so these places for me are intoxicating. And I don't know why. There's something deep and profound and spiritual about being in the realm of the dead. But one thing I do know is when I come to this place, I feel quite inebriated. I feel drunk on the energy which is within this place. And I feel powerful, I feel energized, I feel spirited, I feel spiritual, I feel blessed. And the grass is the softest and the coolest that I've ever known. And so then I came upon this tombstone, and this reads, what's this bit here? S-R-E-C-T-E-N. Srecton? Is that an S? Srecton? As a tribute of affection in memory of Stuart Hick, I don't know, son of William and Sarah, I think it's Kirk, who was born August the 16th, 1817, and died February the 26th, 1818. Happy the baby, thus privileged by fate to shorter labour and a lighter weight, whose soul has reached that blissful shore it neither saw nor sought before. This was in a period when child mortality was very high, and we never knew when our children, our loved ones, were going to be taken, having only just came into the world, very quickly taken against. Can you imagine such a cruel fate? Carrying a child for 9 months, having it born into this world, bringing it into this world, for it only to die in a few weeks or months. So around here, and I've shown you before, but I'll show you again because it's very worthwhile, and some of you may have never seen it. There are some wonderful slate tombstones, and just a shot like that is so majestic, so powerful. To see these falling into the ground 2, 3 or 4 feet over time. These would have been standing stately, maybe 6 feet or more when they were laid. But over time, the ground is swallowing them up. Such is the nature of life and death. And so, let us come to some of these here. And we look upon them. And what is significant around here is that in their day, these people would have been big names in this village. To have tombstones carved out of solid slate with such labour would have been quite an expense. And these names, they're even continued today in businesses. Some of them pertain to bakers, some of them pertain to breweries. But their legacy remains. In the 45th year of his age. Be ye also ready, for in such an hour as ye think not, the Son of Man cometh. The question of the day is, people, what time is it? I contemplate this question. What time is it, Aaron? When is my time going to be over? When will the Lordeth call me? I know not when. Sometimes you don't get any notice. Sometimes you get a little bit of notice to say thank you and goodbye. So this place is only over one wall. I live the other side of this church wall, and I contemplate my fate, and I wonder why I was blessed with such a privileged position. To have a garden so beautiful, so tranquil, so blessed, so peaceful, that I can call mine and nobody else ever frequents for more than a quick stroll around, maybe of a Sunday morning when a few people come to the church. And from time to time, people come upon myself, and I wonder what they're thinking when they come upon a man such as myself, usually in short shorts or even on occasion his underpants, which look more like Speedo swimwear than underpants. But even so, a man in his Speedos, does he think he's on the beach? Kinda like the beach. And he sits and he lays over there. And people look upon him and wonder, what a curious person. What a curious place. What a curious thing to do. To lie down and sunbathe in the Lord's garden. In the Lord's garden, no less. Which is sacred, reserved for the dead, not for the living. This place isn't for the living. No living beings allowed. But it doesn't say that anywhere. There's no rules and regulations about living beings living life within these grounds. It's an unspoken thing. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that living beings shouldn't be in here unless they are very fleetingly passing through, paying their respects. But you see, if anybody ever came upon me and asked me, what are you doing? And I'll say to them, I'm having a relationship with the Lord. And then I'll show them the book that I'm reading. And invariably, the books that I read are religious philosophy. And on this particular occasion is this book. So I'll show them it's about the second coming of Christ, and I'm waiting. Then I will pose the question to them, and I'll say, what are you doing here? Are you on a similar venture? What are you waiting for? Come, sit down on my towel, and let us speak philosophically, spiritually, and religiously. And let us engage from our hearts. What is it we seek? What is it we feel? When I would ask an impertinent question, and I would say, what time do you have? And they may say, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not wearing a watch. And I would say, you don't need a watch to know what time you have. What time is it? And they maybe get nervous and start foraging around in their bag for their phones to reveal the hour of the day. And I would say, I'm not inquiring to that time. I'm inquiring into your time. What time is it? And if you ask questions such as that, people may get nervous. Most people don't want to think about what time is it. They don't want to think, contemplate, ponder upon their time. But if they did, then maybe they would see life much clearer. If they stopped to contemplate what the time was. And if anybody asked me, what time is it, Aaron? I would say it's now. I live in an endless sequence of nows. Now, to infinity and beyond. That's what time it is for me. But then I look at the longevity in my family, and my family have longevity. Grandparents on both sides have lived to be 90s, 88, 96, those sort of ages, and they've mostly been able-bodied. Of course, they lose their minds towards the end. That's humanity's saving grace. When the time is nigh and it's almost at the end, it just takes you into the oblivion. So you don't have any awareness of where you are, what you're doing. You don't know what time it is. And even though it's time for you to vacate this dimension, you don't know what time it is. You've no idea. You're too busy pooing your pants. And forgetting your name. You can't remember your name. You're pooing your pants just like you were when you were 6 weeks old. No changes there. You didn't know your name then. You don't know your name in the end. So life has a very curious way of dealing with age. It slowly just strips of all our senses, or of all our sensibilities, strips us of our compos mentis. And in the end, we're not even here. Just the body, spirit's long vacated. So in the opening pages of this second chapter of the Coming of Christ, it's starting how it means to go on by saying that it's all Maya, it's all illusion. And speaking of Christ and all the things he said and did from his spiritual philosophical way, and a paradoxical way, because even though there is said to have been something that actually took place, ultimately nothing took place, save for the dream in the mind of God. This time of day is so beautiful, and this temperature, it's like 20 or 22 degrees Celsius today. It's the perfect time, so we can stay out in the sun all day long without any adverse effects, and just sitting here and I watch the sun pass over and goes to rest over there, and as it sits low and low in the sky, the birds sing a sweeter and sweeter song, and then all the squirrels, the jackdaws, the crows and the magpies and the blackbirds, they like to forage around these beautiful lawns for little morsels. And it's a beautiful sight to behold. Really, the best parts of the day, very early morning and just before dusk, an hour or two before dusk and an hour or two after sunrise. Magical parts of the day. And so, I'll leave you with that.